A brief overview of the 3D Experience platform from Dassault Systems. Products today are more intelligent and complex than ever before. Every industry is transforming as organizations attempt to harness digital technologies to meet the demands of customers. Customers now expect products they meet to provide an experience, not just a service or value. One significant inhibitor to this growth is typical silos of information, not just organizationally like databases and file shares, but actual application silos. These create the need for data translation between applications and increase risk, delays, and rework. As part of the complete digital strategy, the 3D Experience platform transforms this electronic environment into a digital environment. It adopts a single geometric modeler, user interface, input-output, and security model. So the authoring applications operate on the platform without the need to export or translate files. This drastically simplifies the architecture and accelerates the overall design process. We live in a digital world, but we don't work in one. We are digitally connected to platforms all the time, different applications, airline flight updates, weather updates, ride sharing. What this means is there are no silos, very little friction between users and the experience they have. If I want an Uber, for example, it takes 2 clicks to be connected directly to a driver of the Uber, and then we know exactly where each other are, and we're connected completely until the end of that journey. This, however, is not the typical environment that we work in today. In the work environment, we deal with a lot of files, a lot of static information, which is trapped and needs to be managed. The 3D Experience platform reduces these silos and increases communication. So an example of this is electronic tickets that we have on cell phones, electronic boarding passes. They're nice, they provide information, but they weren't connected with the data. So for example, if the gate changed for a ticket, as a user, you wouldn't get an update on the electronic format. So you still had to go check the boards. Is my seat changed? Is my date or time of departure changed? Things like that. With digital boarding passes, we're live connected. You're looking at and experiencing the same data. And the apps at the end for the user are so intelligent that they now provide direct links to the information. So whether I'm looking at it right as the change happens or whether I pick it up 2 hours later, I'm notified. Not only does it update, but it actually flashes and tells me, hey, this is new information that you need to pay attention to. So everyone is kept aware and kept connected. So the 3D Experience platform uses 4 levers for this digital transformation. It digitally connects all the participants. It converts big data, so mass data information, into knowledge and intelligence that we can use. It models and simulates both the product as well as the customer experience that they'll go through, and it ties the virtual with the real environment. So let's take a look at these a little bit deeper. So with electronic communications, a product manager may need to connect with finance department and a mechanical designer. The typical way to do that is an email or a phone call. When we add in all the departments that they actually need to communicate with, and then all the individuals in those departments, the communication looks a lot more like this. The problem is that none of this data is captured into a common system, so now each person is responsible to update their various data points and data systems to make sure everything aligns. Companies have started implementing tools like Google Docs or Microsoft 365 or SharePoint to try to contain these. That helps control the data, but not the processes. So in the 3D Experience platform, the platform becomes the baseline, the common point. Communication is all done within the system, or even potentially eliminated altogether, because the data that the mechanical designer and the finance team have is directly available to that project manager, as is all other data related to the project and all other communications that they have access to. So what this means is that more people in the organization have the visibility and the ability to collaborate during this development process. This naturally then drives more innovation as more and more discussions happen. One customer we have is a global automotive startup named NIO. That's an electric vehicle company. They had an existing location in China that deployed CATIA V5 with Team Center. a new group or division in the U.S. deployed 3DX because they had a smaller team, a smaller time frame, and needed a rapid deployment. During one bumper-to-bumper review after this, China was taking more than 3 hours to open their entire vehicle in the native environment. The 3D Experience platform was taking only 15 minutes to load the same data set. This is because the platform was built and designed for this type of data loading. If you think of how Netflix or YouTube work, where you start to stream movies, you don't have to wait to download the entire movie to start to to watch. So another component is data driven. So typical PDM, PLM systems, ERP applications, if you're searching for something, they require you to put the information you're looking for in the correct field. So, if I'm looking for the description, I put it here. If I'm looking for the title, I put it here. Imagine if you had to do that for the internet. How would all the websites out there create common attributes for us to use? Another feature of the internet is if you shop, say for a car online, you're looking to find that information, you do a search, and then you immediately get a filter up, like number of doors, engine size, color, mileage, things like that, that allow you to filter that information down. So the 3D Experience platform search works exactly like those typical internet search capabilities, allowing you to search and find information, to filter it based on attributes that are important to you and relevant to you, and also to do 3D shape searches. Since it has the intelligence of the 3D physical model, what it looks like, you can also search based on the physical shape of that object. And another component is that companies have over the years tried to combine their PDM, PLM systems, file stores, ERP data, and tried to merge them together. This is a significant consolidation of these databases, a significant effort in terms of resources, risk, and efforts. With the 3D Experience platform, there's the search tool called Exec allows you to accomplish these searches and filters while leaving the data in their native environments, various file stores and PDMs, etc. In addition, because we now have this data linked to the CAD model, we can overlay business intelligence on top of that CAD structure. So we can filter based on issues or weight, for example, or release date. So we can look at a 3D model and see the content of that. Most companies are doing some level of model-based design, engineering, and manufacturing, but true model-based environments like the 3DX platform will allow everyone to work on the exact same object. Not just the same data, but the same object. So Wärtsilä is a diesel engine company that makes these large diesel engines that go in ships. They're typically made to order based on every customer requirement. So engineers constantly depend on simulation to understand the impact of their design and what parameters will influence that overall performance. So in the past with Wärtsilä, if any designers or had a question or wanted to try, for example, a variation, their process and their procedure of communication back and forth between the simulation department took about 11 days for them to perform one iteration. The model-based approach in the 3D Experience platform takes it to a whole new level. It combines the fit and form of the 3D models with the function of the CAE and analysis and simulation to understand not just what it looks like or how it fits, but will it work in the environment afterwards. So what Wärtsilä found is that they could run this design alternatives in the time it took the computer to run the analysis, and that was taking them just 3 hours, and allowed them to not only automate that process, but also optimize the design, give the design parameters to the system, ideal controls and limitations and restrictions, and then allow them to create and develop that targeted solution. So companies like Wärtsilä are working to tie their digital products to the experience their customers have. Schindler, for example, has built intelligent load sensors into their escalator to ensure the optimal power consumption while maintaining smooth operation for their customers. McDermott provides digital twin data as part of their bid packages when they're making proposals to customers, and this has demonstrated their unique value to their customers, being able to see and touch and virtually feel what's going to happen and how it's going to look prior to the products ever being made. So in summary, the 3D Experience platform digitally connects all of the participants, converts big data into insights, models and simulates the customer experience, and correlates the virtual to the real. Thank you for your time, and please feel free to contact me at this information here if you have any further questions. Thank you.